Hello, everyone. This is the American Dream Podcast. Today we're recording episode 10. This is Daniel Bischoff, and once again, I'm here with
Mario Lopez.
And today we're going to talk a little bit more about some current events, and then dive into the current experience of enjoying sports. So I'm sure our listeners at some point, maybe if you haven't already, come across images and videos of places in California that, and you can see clearly in the sky that the sky is a different color because of the fires. And this is something that I'm sure for people that are living there, it's extremely scary because people's property are just completely getting wiped out. And what's even more shocking is, not saying that all the other things aren't shocking, but the atmosphere and then just like the cloud has changed an entirely different color, and it's really bothering to see on some level, but also on the other level, it's just like really crazy to see how much nature can have impact of like our lives.
Yeah. I mean, fires have mostly occurred in California frequently. The main causes are basically by people who are miscareless or carelessness, and maybe while they're camping or doing something, they just start like a small fire, and then with all the forest and sort of dryness that's there,
Right.
it sort of causes it to spread and go out of control, where even if you try to stop where you started,
Right.
it's already spread so far
It's so
and
fast.
and so fast that it's really difficult for the firemen to stop it.
Right.
But this recent ones, they started when I guess some people were having like a gender reveal party,
Oh.
and I guess I don't know if there's like video footage or not, but the way they revealed the gender, I guess it was sort of maybe an explosion. I don't know,
Uh-huh.
or like a mini like smoke explosion,
Right.
and that initiated a fire in California. I don't know if it's the same one that's still spreading,
Right.
or if that one was. I know it caused like millions of dollars of damage,
Right.
but I don't know if it's the same exact one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, right now it's basically in California, Washington, and Oregon
Right.
that they're seeing all these fires. You look outside, or there's videos online where everything's orange.
Yeah.
There's a lot of smoke in the air, and
There's
even
no.
I think like the ashes are like falling down
Right.
from the
And
sky.
it's difficult to even tell even if it's day or time without looking at your like if you don't look at your phone, you wouldn't be able to tell if you were walking in the middle of the day or in the middle of the night.
Yeah, and I thought it was only California, and then a few days ago, my cousin, he lives in Oregon, and then he sent me a video
Mm-hmm.
and a message of how it was, and it was literally almost the same
Right.
as the pictures I was seeing online,
Yeah.
where everything was orange. And then he showed me another video where I think he was driving and he saw like fires
Right.
on the side of the highway, and he told me that they were in level 1, which
Right,
level
we
1
see.
is they're just be wary of it,
Mm-hmm.
I think. And then level 2 is to get ready and prepare in case you need to evacuate.
Yeah.
Because level 3 is you need to leave.
Yeah.
And I think right now they're in level 2.
Hmm.
So, I mean, it's something that I wasn't expecting to reach all the way there where they are.
Right.
But my aunts and uncle are over there, and they're I don't know if they're like really worried or not, but it is something to be like be scared about, because you never know if like the fire reaches your place and then burns everything down.
Right.
Even if there's no casualties,
Right.
but it causes damage onto your property where you have valuable stuff.
Right.
Maybe even like memories of the past,
Right.
or things that you recently purchased
Right.
and find value in,
Right.
and now it's all gone.
Yeah, things that you had that you kept from maybe high school, college, middle school, things you grew up having, toys. Just
Yeah,
like,
and I mean, like my cousin, he's a shoe collector,
right.
and he's told me that he has hundreds of pairs of shoes.
Oh boy.
And I mean, that collection is in case if something like bad happens to that, that's gone.
Yeah. And I'm probably assuming these shoes are very pricey too.
Yeah, and then even if you're like preparing to evacuate, it's not probably the top priority to pack.
Right.
So you want to just pack the important stuff.
Right.
And get out as soon as possible before you get caught up in the fires.
Right. It's so strange living in America, and there's like you're living in the country, but there's a part of the country that is just like experiencing something totally out of the norm. And we hear about it, and we don't like the only time in Ohio that I've experienced anything that was remotely a little bit on the edge was we had a tornado, and it was really windy for like a day and a half. Like it was windy the entire time. And it's like this is.
We had one recently.
Yeah, we had that recently. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it was a Saturday.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, I just hear the. I think it was Sunday actually. Out of nowhere, I just hear the stupid tornado warning.
Right.
And I was like, it's not Wednesday or noon.
Right. Right.
So it must be a tornado. And then yeah, it was really windy. It was starting to rain a little bit, but it was like really high winds.
Yeah, very very high winds, and I was just but that's not anything close to where people are experiencing earthquakes, and it's just crazy.
And hopefully it's not. I just want it to like rain over there,
Right.
like as soon as possible.
Right.
Like just have some rain pour down, and naturally like diminish the fires.
Right.
Because there's like innocent people out there that have no options, or are probably struggling, and then for this to come by,
Right.
and then cause more harm,
Right.
more like as a setback for them, even not just financially, but if they lose like a loved one, and they end up dying because of the fires.
Right.
And hopefully it's not the fires that were caused by the gender reveal party,
Yeah.
because it's those stuff are stupid anyways, but like you have to be like really aware, like be aware that you really shouldn't do stuff that causes fires.
Yeah.
Or even if it's like a little flame, because even that little thing can cause some huge. And hopefully, I mean, those people that caused those fires that were in that part of California face some repercussions, because they're actually causing damage to innocent people.
A lot of damage. But it's quite the scenario though. Like it kind of reminds me of how what I learned from watching the Ozark is like there's a chain effect of things happening. And sometimes you fall into a certain chain, and then you get involved, and then your involvement leads to somebody also getting involved with somebody else. And it's just crazy, like randomly these people are thinking about a gender reveal, and then this thing explodes, and there's a fire that's affecting so many people.
Yeah, and then the winds are. My cousin was telling me that the winds are causing the fire to spread.
Yeah.
And then I know there's a lot of pine trees. And the natural way, I think, for the pine trees to grow, so little pines, they only sort of start to grow when there's high temperatures. So they need forest fires to actually like get planted and then grow.
What?
that's like, I don't know, like some natural thing that happens.
Mm.
But I don't think this is
No,
this is not something that was caused
this is
naturally.
not intended.
And it's very rare when there's fires that start naturally.
Right.
Maybe from the dryness or like a lightning strike hitting some tree and then
Right.
from there starting.
I mean, it's very weird that it changed the color of the sky. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen the color of the sky change only
Well,
because of the eclipse or some like.
yeah,
least that
it's
I'm like-
mainly the smoke,
Yeah.
right? And then the smoke covering the sun.
Yeah.
So it sort of spreads out the color, I think.
Right.
But yeah, it just,
It looks like they're in the twilight. So.
yeah, some people were, I haven't seen the movie, but it's called Blade Runner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Blade Runner something, 2070 something.
Yeah.
And they were comparing images and it looks exactly the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
It looks-
Exactly, man.
And even some were saying like, it looks like we're in Mars or something.
Yeah. Those images were surprising. I thought it was an edit for a second, honestly. Turned out
Yeah, I
it's-
wasn't expecting when they were talking about this fire,
Mhm.
there weren't like pictures like this.
Mhm.
You could see like the fire spreading.
Right.
But then just recently was when I first started seeing the pictures.
Pictures. Yeah.
Everything orange.
Orange. Yeah.
It didn't even look real.
Right. But it is. Then that's what's really surprising. It's scary
Yeah.
at the same time.
But hopefully something like helps, like the rain to
Mhm.
stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Because who knows how far and what kind of damage it can continue to cause
Right.
if it's not stopped pretty soon.
Right.
And I mean, since I have family members over there, I wanted to stop immediately
Right.
because I don't want them to be harmed in any way.
Right.
And I'm not trying to say that even if I didn't have family over there, I don't want it to stop or give it much importance, but
Right.
I do realize it's something that's not supposed to happen,
Right.
and it needs to stop as soon as possible.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's one of the current events that we had for this week. There's a lot of other stuff that probably has happened, but hasn't crossed like my radar.
Right. Same.
I know yesterday was 9/11,
Yeah.
and a lot of people have been affected by that event.
Mm-hmm.
Not me personally, because I was in Mexico, and when I got here, I wasn't really aware of it
Right.
until school, where it was something that was like brought up, and then also they would like put like a moment of silence online at 9 o'clock, and just to pay respects for the people that lost their lives
Right.
in this tragic event. I don't know, when were you like first introduced to it?
So actually, I did find out on that day that it happened. I did find out the news, but the reason why I couldn't fully comprehend it was because I was back in Ghana. Okay. Should I just let it keep going?
Yeah, you can let it keep going, but
Okay.
just hold the thought.
Okay. But so I was back in Ghana, and I had visited my grandfather, and I was just hanging out with him. I think he either he was cooking or my grandmother was cooking, but I was just hanging out with him, and we were at this point he was introducing me to Jehovah Witnessing. Because they are Jehovah Witnesses, and so we were discussing and learning about their beliefs and stuff like that. And then out of nowhere, I think somebody called him and told him to turn the news on because the TV wasn't on the news. It was on something else, and I was watching it, I believe. But once he received the phone call, he changed the channel, and I could see, I could pretty much see the smoke coming from the building, and it was pretty much, it's probably like a replay clip. It wasn't for sure live, but I didn't completely understand that this was something that was like majorly impactful, because I've watched news and I've seen and heard about like other people, other places getting like bombed and stuff like that. But it just felt different when I was watching it and then getting to understand it more, because it happened in America, and that's why we were talking a little bit about like somewhat similarities and difference between the attack on Pearl Harbor versus like the attack on 9/11, the Twin Towers. I just felt like that was in that moment, it just felt like, what I can understand is just like the whole country just felt really sad about that moment, because everybody felt connected to the people that were on the flight, and especially because they completely understood what was happening. It was even devastating, and that's the kind of sense I get from people that I've talked about it since I've been living here. And it is an incredibly unfortunate event that happened in this country, and I'm starting to I've learned and I've understood what it means for people who live here, especially people in New York, because I actually met somebody who told me that one of their family members died in the building, not on the plane. So and that personal connection made me feel more connected with that person that told me about it. So it is something that is incredibly sad that happened. But moments like that, it's just it's very shocking. It's just very shocking.
Yeah, especially with people there, or even people that were working there, where they wake up in the morning, do their regular routine,
right,
go to work, and they're not expecting something like this to happen. And then especially the people that were like all the way up top,
right,
where perhaps they were able to survive the impact of the planes,
right,
but had no way of reaching down, or it was too much of a distance going down, that some people even decided to jump out.
Right.
You know, there's images of
footage of people jumping out of the window.
Yeah, because they'd rather just end it right there and then, instead of having to suffer and watch their coworkers die, or even friends, and then they have like no way of communicating with their loved ones.
That is an incredibly difficult decision to make.
Yeah, and there's images out there, and even like famous ones, where there's a guy just like going head first, and it's something like you were saying that's really hard to make. You know, do you risk staying there and going through probably even more like suffering and mentally suffering, and then also physically, for a longer period of time, just to see if perhaps there's a way of you making it, or just giving like the final decision that there's like no way out, and it's probably the best that it just ends quick.
Right. It's like an incredibly challenging question to ask yourself, because nobody really knows what's going to happen. But yeah, I did see the video, and I saw it in school at some point, and it was just, I can understand why they were jumping, but it was incredibly difficult to watch at the same time.
Yeah, and then also the firemen, policemen, that went in and tried to rescue as many as possible. and then even some tragically died while trying to save.
Right.
And then as soon as like the buildings went down is when I guess it was kind of like something that, like the needle that broke the camel's back or something.
Yeah.
The straw that broke the camel's back.
Okay.
That they were, the first plane had gone in.
Yeah.
And then the second one came in. And then people were there just watching,
Right.
see what's going to happen. If it's something that would be controlled or
Right.
in some way help reduce damage.
Right.
And save as many as possible. And then they just fall down.
Yeah, it just keeps getting worse.
And it covered so much distance throughout the city that I guess some people were far away and they could still like get the impact.
Right.
And people watching it as like family members, knowing that their like dad or mom or husband, wife was there.
Right.
It's like something that I really can't comprehend.
Right.
The feeling of it, but like this day, the 9/11, it's something that just, I guess, sort of unifies in some way everyone, where they have the same feeling towards that event.
Right.
We can like, I know there's like certain conspiracies of what led to it or how things came, like the buildings came down, or
Right.
the causes of it or reasons for it happening.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's just a tragic accident or event that led to many people dying.
Right.
And a lot of people sympathize with that.
Right.
And sort of are brought together. There was like an image, I guess, or a video of Joe Biden and Mike Pence.
Mm-hmm.
They were just,
Mm-hmm.
I guess they can't shake hands, but they sort of like elbow bumped.
Right.
And perhaps they have differentiating views and ideas about certain things, but
this event is bigger than that.
Yeah, this is something that's bigger than that, and everyone puts aside everything and remembers the people that tragically passed.
Right.
And I think maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, we went to New York for a little bit.
Yeah, we went. That was
like
6, more on the 6.
6 years.
Yeah. Because I just realized if I'm done with college, that's 4 years, no, 2 years. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, we managed to see that
the monument
that they made with everyone's names that
was engraved. Yeah, all their names were engraved, and even like I feel like if you didn't even know that the event happened, when you walk into that monument, you feel a presence of like not necessarily sadness, but do you feel like something happened here, whether you know it or not? There's this feeling because of, I mean it probably has to do with the structure and the way everything is designed and visually what you're seeing with the water going down and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you a sense of this feeling of something happened here, something that shook the world happened here.
Yeah, and then even like the names it's a giant monument.
Right.
And all the names are literally like really close to each other.
Right. And you can walk close and then look.
Yeah, and then at first maybe you can't comprehend the amount of people that were a part of it.
Right.
And as soon as you like see the monument and then all the names, it's just a lot of names.
A lot of names.
And a lot of people.
A lot of names. That also kind of reminds me of when we were in Washington and we went to the monument that had all the lost souls or soldiers from which world was that? Was that World War I or II?
I don't remember exactly.
But one of the monuments in Washington, and
Yeah.
we saw that, and that is also incredibly difficult to watch. But it's part of history. Like so many names.
Yeah.
So many names, and it's just hard to conceptualize that couple, what, over 60 years ago, that this world was like experiencing a lot of wars.
Yeah, but as always, it's just a day that everyone remembers and never forgets. I know, what could it be this year? I don't know what year it was where people weren't gonna, like, they were gonna be born, but they weren't gonna be like in that age range of living through it.
Oh,
they sort of live after that event.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember, but it's somebody. I think it was like a fact or something that someone had posted that. I don't know what year or age range they're like the last ones to like actually learn it, but just learn it instead of actually like live through
it. Yeah.
There's another current event that I don't know if you saw, but I just remembered it. It's with Netflix.
No, I did not see
No. So I think maybe a month or two, Netflix released like a poster for a film that they were gonna put out, and the poster is of like young children in like a sort of a sexual pose with like inappropriate sort of clothing. Yeah. And a lot of people got mad at Netflix because the poster was not really depicting of what the movie was truly about. And they compared it to like the original poster of the movie that had been released, I think, in a film festival and
so
won
this
an
is
award.
A remake.
Well, it's not a remake. It's the same. It's the same film, and I think they got the rights or something. I don't know. And so they're gonna put it on Netflix. But it was a film that was released in a festival and won an award. And I think it's from a Senegal filmmaker.
The filmmaker from Senegal.
I think so.
Okay.
And
Senegal.
Yeah, but a lot of people got mad at Netflix because instead of using the poster that was originally made, they depicted something else. And the film was called Cuties. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the Netflix title. The other original title, I think it's French. I forgot. I can probably pull it up in a sec. But so the filmmaker's film is basically like about a little girl that I guess her parents are really strict, and then she wants to find a way to be independent, and sort of wants to go into this dance group with other people, other children. But the bad part is like it's a twerking dance team.
It's what?
A twerking dance team.
Oh, twerking dance team.
Yeah. But the main message is, I guess, what the filmmaker intends is that the way society like sort of sexualizes minors, and then even just like women in general, as they're like growing up with maybe influences from social media where there's women posting these pictures or songs or like rappers and stuff like that sexualizing certain things often, and children are exposed to it.
And some children, in a sense, some children are desiring to want to do those activities.
Yeah. And so this week, I saw a hashtag though. It said, "Cancel Netflix."
Oh boy, cancel culture at it.
Yeah, And at first I wasn't really sure on what it was, and then I saw people like posting about it, and it was that the movie had released, right? The Cuties, and it's really bad.
The movie's really bad.
It's not bad as in like a bad film. The subject matter and the way they're portraying these little girls, you know. There's scenes where like there's like a scene where I guess the little girls are doing a routine, but it's like twerking, right? And then there's like adult people watching, adult men, and I guess there's like a scene where I haven't watched the film. This is just based off what I've heard, where like even like the like adult men are like sort of like they sort of like watching it,
right?
You know, it's very like pedophile-ish,
right?
You know, I guess there was another scene where like the main protagonist tries and her friends try to go into this like a club or a party, and they like the people that are there don't let them in, and then like the protagonist comes and like starts like dancing on one of the men, and like the guy I think like enjoys it or something. And then there's another like scene where the protagonist I think as well like goes in the bathroom and then takes pictures of her of something I think, and posts it on Instagram or like a social media,
right?
And enjoys like the likes that she's getting and stuff like that,
right?
And so a lot of people are outraged that Netflix put out a movie that is sort of basically like child pornography, really,
right?
Where they're sort of making something or making content or putting out content that other people that are like mentally ill with that sort of thoughts of like having sexual relations with like little girls,
right?
And the pedophiles that are out there that are probably going to enjoy this, and
right.
When we're like in sort of a part in our life that we're seeing a lot of like sexual trafficking or trafficking of people, minors,
right?
Especially like little girls that are being used as sexual pleasures,
yeah,
you know, from adult men,
right?
So that's why a lot of people were saying cancel Netflix, and even with like how I shared the message that the filmmaker wanted to make,
right?
It's still something bad that like little girls auditioned for a part like this,
right?
And then like you're filming them,
right?
Do these scenes that are like really inappropriate,
right?
And they're not like filming it once, you know,
right?
They're not like doing one take and then
right.
just taking that,
right?
There's probably like several takes,
right?
And then there's adult men and women, but probably mostly men that are probably enjoying watching these little girls dancing.
And for the purpose of what?
Yeah, and I know they're probably like thinking they want to send a message out to not sort of popularize something like this, but you should do it with like maybe like a 18-year-old or something,
right?
Not 11. Well, they're 13, I think,
right?
But in the film, they're supposed to be 11, and so the idea is good,
right?
Or the message, but the way they sort of handled the message and wanted to portray it,
right?
It's not good.
The way they created the content.
No, because you're actually using like little girls.
Right.
You know, you're not using some actors that are actually that are adults. You know, you're actually using little girls, and they're doing sexual stuff.
Right.
The film is rated TV mature, right? It's not like, I don't even think the girls can watch their own film. You know.
Right. So yeah, that is also controversial.
Yeah. So they're facing a lot of backlash, and it's rightfully so, you know.
Right.
It's not and I don't even know like whose idea was to take the film and then try and put it out there, you know.
Right. And
then
not use, like, in a sense, be able to understand these are girls that are going to be practicing these scenes, and they'll probably remember that.
Yeah, and then people that are probably saw it, or since it's been like trending, you know,
right,
they'll probably be traumatized, you know, as they grow older, because maybe they might get bullied a lot, you know,
right,
because they were seen doing this as a
right.
little kid on a film,
right,
you know. Also, like the parents, like
yeah.
who lets like their own children audition for like a part that includes sexualized stuff,
right,
from their own children, you
right.
know. As a parent, I'm not a parent, but if I was a parent of my kid and
You're
then
like, nah,
they
dude.
got like an audition for this, I wouldn't let them go, you
Right.
know. Especially when they're like dancing and twerking and stuff
Right.
like that. Like the adults can do that, you know.
Right.
They're once they're an adult, they can go ahead and do whatever they want,
Right.
because they make their own decisions.
Right.
But like, I don't think the little girls are there calling the shots, you know.
Right.
They're just there. Perhaps they want to get for some reason, maybe like money or something, or
Right.
just get more fame. But perhaps they were like tricked into it in some way, where they have the part now and then they're like made to do these scenes, you know.
Right. No, that's I guess, yeah, I can understand why they're trying to cancel Netflix, the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just a bad move from Netflix, honestly. I don't even like comprehend how it just goes out, you know.
Right.
There had to be like somebody there that
reviewed it,
watched it and was like, yeah, go ahead, put it out there.
right?
You know?
But it's going on Netflix though, so
Yeah.
like any kid could literally like click my mom's account,
yeah,
and watch it, because their friend was talking about it, because maybe their parents are a little more lenient in having them watch content like that.
yeah, and then even like people who are probably like that stuff, you know,
Right.
and they're probably like they're probably happy that there's something like that out for them, but
Right.
that's just, you shouldn't make things like that easily available for people that are like that.
Right.
You know? They should have like they should have just not put it out as soon as like they got backlash from posters, you know. Do you want to look at the poster?
Yeah, pull up the poster and then yeah, we'll check it out. I'm still traumatized by the food wars. No, we've had a beautiful day today. The morning till like probably 10 a.m. was really nice. And then around noon it was way too warm.
So this is the original poster, you know.
Okay.
And then this is the Netflix poster.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Netflix stepped it up a notch. Unfortunately.
Yeah, but like, it's not that they made this poster like they put these girls in those positions.
Right.
It's like a scene from the movie.
Right.
The original poster probably doesn't depict something like that.
Right.
But even like this filmmaker, like, I don't know what he was thinking. He's literally like filming little girls doing sexual stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's people out there editing it and conscious that like this shit.
What?
Like, there's so many like steps of making a film, and
they broke.
literally it just went past
they broke so many moral codes doing this shit.
Yeah, and then it still managed to win an award and then be put on Netflix for everyone to see. I won't cancel Netflix, but I mean that's just some bad move that they made, and it's some that who knows if they'll probably like bounce back from it. You know,
I mean,
hopefully it's not something that a lot of people forget, because it is some like there's a lot of like sexual.
I mean, this is totally different from like watching a documentary of somebody that's already done things then it has already been recorded. That makes sense. If
like the Jeffrey Epstein thing.
Yeah, like that stuff has already happened, so nobody's recreating it to make a point that it happened. You know what I mean? So it makes sense for that something like that to be put together and presented so that people can see it. But this man is like putting the scenes together.
Mm-hmm. And then someone wrote like a script,
right?
And someone pitched it to someone, pitched the idea, and then the person liked it,
right,
and then put money into making the film.
Yeah,
like everyone, not just Netflix is at fault.
Right.
Everyone that was part of that film in any way is at fault.
Right.
But Netflix, I guess, because they helped get it out there, then they're facing most of the backlash.
Right. Whereas everybody else was like, yeah, let's put it on Netflix. That was involved in this.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Hopefully they take it down. I mean,
right.
I don't know if it's still up there.
Right.
2 days ago, I think I saw that it was there.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't seen it, and I probably most definitely won't see it.
No.
It's not something that I probably have any interest at all, really. Even if they're trying to like send like a message or anything.
I think the message is point. The point is that this shouldn't be happening, but we shouldn't be making movies about
it happening.
Yeah.
And like using actual people, little kids.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to send something like that, use adults.
Yeah.
Don't use little kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's all the current events. I think, right?
Yeah, and then maybe we're gonna finish with talking about the experience in sports now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with the NBA going on, and then baseball also started, and the NFL also started.
Yeah. So
and the MLS.
I think all the major sports started back up. NBA picked up. I think they played like 2 or 3 games regular, and then they went into their playoff season or playoffs. And then I think they took like 1 day, 2 day break of boycotting.
Yeah.
And then they came back. But I saw that the ratings are down like 40%.
Whoa.
Yeah. The main reason is I think a lot of people don't like the politics that are involved, you know.
Okay.
A lot of people want to, perhaps they're seeing too many politics on the TV, you know. And maybe they would just want to relax and watch like a game between their favorite team.
Right.
And then especially if they're in the playoffs.
Right.
But then when you're sitting down and then are tired of like the politics,
right,
you sit down, put on the NBA game, and you see politics.
Yeah.
You know, they have the right to, you know, share. Like I guess they made the custom jersey thing where you can put like a message.
Right.
But I guess a lot of people don't want politics in like sports, because it's just about like the game, you know, and it's something that's like a hobby or like a casual thing to do, you know, to watch just a game between like your favorite teams, or your favorite sport. It doesn't have to be like basketball or anything,
right?
But it's just time to relax and not really focus on something that's happening out there,
right?
You know,
entertainment.
Yeah, it's just entertainment. Yeah. But I think that's one of the reasons that the ratings are down. But yeah, that's going on right now. I think is the finals, Eastern finals already set?
I'm not sure about that. I
I
mean,
think it's close. I think it is. I think it's gonna be Celtics and Miami Heat.
okay. And then the Lakers are playing
They're
the
still in
Rockets.
semifinals
Yeah,
against
the Rockets.
Oklahoma City Thunder,
Oh,
and they're up 3-1.
wait, who's playing?
The Lakers against Thunder.
No, I thought they're playing the Rockets.
Oh yeah, you're right. Rockets. No, the Rockets played the Thunder,
Oh, the Rockets.
and they beat. Yeah, the Rockets beat the Thunder. So yeah, they're playing the Lakers.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah, okay, yeah.
yeah. They're playing the. Yeah,
The
and then the
Rockets
Lakers are
playing.
up 3-1.
Yeah. But so basically, which is really weird, but they're in a bubble, and everything is happening in this bubble, as in like they have to stay there and live there pretty much and play their games and stuff like that, and they're not allowed to necessarily leave the facility because when you come in you need to get tested, and you're in a playoff game. Do you really want to be leaving and coming back and having to test it, be out of the game? So it's a really challenging experience. I think they're having.
It's probably stressful too for
Yeah.
some people.
For some people, I mean, I think some people enjoy, or I mean, they're used to playing a game, being done, going home with it, and having to just be at home with their family.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's gonna be more about. It's almost like they're in training, in like a long boot camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess a lot of players that are there, because I haven't seen like a full game. I just see like highlights or something like that.
Right.
Or even like when they first started.
Right.
It's just dead. They're just there playing, and I guess some people or some players play best when there's like a crowd, and then they're getting hyped and stuff like that.
No, the crowd atmosphere is for sure impactful. I mean, I've been watching the U.S. Open, and some of the commentators were talking about how some of the matches are more intense now. It's because some of the players don't have a crowd behind them. So it's just me and you, no crowd.
Yeah.
We're going at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically like training almost.
Yeah.
How you were saying, like a boot camp.
Yeah. Like you're behind doors training, but now you're doing it professionally, and you're still kind of behind doors.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And they've implemented the virtual fans.
The virtual fans, and then the fans, the recordings, the playbacks.
I don't know if they do that in the NBA though.
I don't know about that, but I've heard like the fans, the sound of fans in
the tennis.
On the tennis, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that's the NBA. I think the finals might be Clippers and Lakers for the Western Conference. And then I don't know who's going to be in the finals. I wanted Lakers to win the whole thing. But
yeah.
I just follow whatever LeBron is on.
Right.
Really.
Same.
I mean, but either way, like
I've never watched him play. I think that's one thing that if I want to watch LeBron play tennis. I'm not.
Oh, tennis.
Not tennis. Basketball. I want to watch LeBron play basketball. From what I've heard, even though there are tall guys in the game and you can see, but he stands out because he's bigger. From what I've heard. And
okay.
Like people have told me going to the Cavaliers games when he used to play for the Cavs, when he's coming down the lane and dunking, it just looks like amazing to see. So
yeah, that'll be good once they start like slowly like incorporating the fan base coming in,
right?
Maybe in small quantities,
right?
The tickets were probably going to be really expensive.
Yeah.
And then you'll probably have to like show some sort of documentation that you've been tested, in case like the virus is not gone by then. But if it is, then I don't think there'll be a problem for like fans.
Right. What do you think? I haven't looked into this, but have you looked into or seen if they have the virtual experience
for what?
What do you call it? What is the virtual thing that you put the lenses?
Oh, there's a lot, but the one that's most popular, I think, is Oculus.
Yeah, the Oculus. Whatever that gadget is. Do you think is that? Do they offer that kind of experience?
Well, before the pandemic,
Mhm.
there was something like that.
Okay.
I think I saw a commercial. I think it was Seth Rogen and somebody,
Okay.
and they're not even. It's him and a friend talking, right?
Right.
And they're not even like near each other. They're like in their own houses, and they have that thing on.
Right.
And it's not even the expensive one,
Right.
where you have to have like a really nice computer to like experience like the best quality.
Right.
They just have like a mobile, one for like a mobile device, I think.
Right.
And they're just there chilling.
Mm-hmm.
They're watching, I forgot what game, but they were watching a basketball game.
Right.
And they were like on the nosebleed section.
The nosebleeds.
Yeah, and they're right there. They could turn, and then you could see.
Okay, that makes sense because I've seen in the games of cameras
Yeah,
that are like kind of like pretty much on the floor,
yeah.
and they're like rotating, which is such a cool experience. Though.
Yeah. I don't
But,
know how they made that.
But yeah, I mean, other major sports leagues are also experiencing the no fans, and some of them are having like posters up and trying to beautify the stadium and stuff like that. But it would be incredibly cool to experience VR of like a basketball game or a football game, something like that.
Yeah, this is it right here. It wasn't Seth Rogen, my bad.
Oh, it was Jonah Hill
Jonah Hill.
and Adam Levine. So we're watching on YouTube.
I feel like I could probably be in the NBA. What? Look, if I had a solid month and a half, I think that I could be a real NBA player. Maybe I'd come off the bench. You should do it. I think I can do it. You should do it. I'm gonna get drafted at 40. So 10 years ago? Oh! This dude is on fire. Oh, man.
$200?
Yeah.
What?
Is that expensive?
No, I think that's. I mean,
For you.
No, I don't think that's expensive.
Yeah.
I don't think that's expensive because a video game is for like $500 or more.
Yeah.
Like a brand new Xbox One would be like what?
Well, right now
Base.
it would be maybe like
Not
300
not with the extra, like
with no games.
With no games.
But like when it came out,
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like 500.
Yeah, I remember. I was like, I'm not getting one of these, for sure not.
They're having a new one come out. Xbox. Well, their names are shitty, bro. They're like. So. The best one is called Xbox Series X.
Somebody was in there like, oh
I'm
my
like,
god.
Really? Like, okay. And then they have another one that's a cheaper option. It has no disc, so it's all digital. And it's smaller. It's called the Xbox Series S.
The Xbox Series.
Well, not the,
Okay.
but Xbox Series S.
How long till they get rid of the CDs, man?
Well, they're giving you the option, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The cheaper one has no discs, you know. And it's cheaper. It's $300.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one that it has a disc drive,
Right.
and it's more powerful.
Hmm.
And that one's $500. Yeah, but that's really good because it's not that expensive, and it has like really really nice like
It's
sort
cheaper.
of.
It's cheaper than the phone I bought.
Yeah, it has a great like components inside that are probably comparable with like a computer PC, like for gaming.
Okay.
Not comparable to like the best PC, but maybe like a cheap one. And so you can run 4K on games.
Okay.
Higher quality, better sound. Like even like loading things
Right.
or downloading games, space, everything like is improving.
So it's got really good specs.
Yeah, good specs for the price.
Right.
And have you seen the PlayStation 5?
No, I haven't.
Have you even seen the Xbox?
I haven't
Okay.
seen none of them. Well, I don't play. I
Yeah.
haven't.
But
I
yeah,
don't play the
you're-
video games, but I mean, I pay attention to them here and there when it's like in my face. But
So PlayStation 5, PS5.
right.
That's just a better name, you know. Xbox struggling with the names. They had the Xbox, then they had the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people were like, when the next one was going to count, they were saying Xbox 720. And then they came out with Xbox One.
Right.
I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Okay. And then they had Xbox
They're true.
One S, which
Yeah.
was a cheaper option,
Right.
and had no disc drive.
Right.
And now they have these new ones. It's called Xbox Series X,
Nice.
and then Xbox Series S.
X and S.
XSX.
Okay.
It's so confusing.
Yeah.
But PlayStation, I mean, they had PlayStation, then PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, now 5.
Now 5. They
That's
keep it
just
simple.
keeping it simple,
Yeah.
short. Someone wants to ask for it. PS5.
PS5.
They look PS5. If someone asks, like, for Christmas, I want an Xbox.
XS.
Oh, bro, which one do you want? Yeah.
Okay. But anyways, back to
Sports.
sports and the experience. I mean, I went to the crew game a couple of times, and I really enjoyed the atmosphere, just sitting there and watching and having it. Just I've experienced sitting with the not the crazy fans per se, but the fans that are like sort of playing the drums and
Okay.
pretty much what do you call it? Not chanting.
They're just hyping
But
up.
they're just hyping up and cheering the entire time. And I've seen in that I've said in that section before, it was quite the experience. It was enjoyable. But then at some point I was like, they don't stop at all. They just
No,
keep
they
cheering.
don't.
Right, they keep cheering. I was like, I'm just trying to watch the game at this point. And I was like, why are they keep cheering? So I think like everybody should try and experience that for sure. But I just remember my experience sitting there and watching the athletes play and move. I enjoyed that way more than watching it on TV, honestly.
Mm.
And if they can have people experience the Oculus and VR and have it be sort of close like that, I think it'll be fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easily put a lot of cameras everywhere,
Yeah.
and you can
And then
experience
just have people get the option to have from different angles,
right.
and then maybe also switch in real time, you know, maybe not be stuck with the same angle
Right.
the whole entire game.
Right.
Just you want to see the other side and see
Right.
how it looks, or maybe you want to see how it looks from this perspective.
From this angle, yeah.
And then this could also help out if people actually want to go live, you know.
Right.
Maybe they want to see how a seat looks, you know,
Right.
before actually purchasing the ticket.
Right.
They can sit there, see if it's a good angle or not,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe they can decide
What's
to
that
like
really?
pull the trigger on
Yeah.
if it's worth it or not.
Right.
Because sometimes, I was planning on going with my girlfriend. She likes basketball.
Right.
She likes the Warriors
Oh boy.
bandwagon. But I just wanted to get some tickets so she could see Curry play. You know,
Right.
that's her favorite player.
Oh boy. My mom loves Curry too.
Yeah, I'm like, really bandwagon.
Yeah.
But
She likes Curry. You like LeBron.
the tickets were really expensive, like the up top.
The
But
nosebleeds.
that was before they started being shitty.
Mm.
But as soon as like you would see like their games and then they weren't playing as good.
Mm-hmm.
The next time I checked their prices, they went down. And then Curry got injured,
Right.
and so I said no, I'm not gonna buy it.
Right.
He's not gonna come back.
You're not gonna watch him play.
Yeah,
That's what you want.
yeah, and that's the only reason that I would go
Right.
and purchase the tickets.
Right.
And then the quarantine happened, so
Forget that.
you can't see anything.
Right. But I mean, I remember seeing that New Zealand was able to, when they handled the virus really well. They already had sports fans at sports events like
Yeah.
fully, and it was really fun to see because I was like, dang, that sounds like that looks like it's so weird because we're experiencing history. It's just like, wow, that used to be the thing for people to go to the stadium and
Yeah.
just like
That's something
fill up
normal.
the stadium, and now it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hopefully it gets better soon. You know.
right.
I haven't been to like live games at all recently. I used to go to the Crew Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
I think I went twice when Mexico came.
Right.
National team, they came and played. I forgot. I don't know if it was USA against the US both of the times,
Mm-hmm.
but I know at least one of them was Mexico versus US. And it gets
intense.
intense because the rivalry is like really like intense.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people are passionate, you know.
Mm.
And then sometimes they get drunk and then they just start doing shit. But we didn't see anything like that when I went there. And then the seating, we just got like really cheap tickets, and then we were like all the way up top.
Right.
But I still enjoyed it, you know.
Right.
But then I think I saw maybe a few Crew games. I had a family member that worked at a restaurant, Fado, next to Chipotle at Easton.
You did?
I had a family member that worked.
Okay.
Yeah. And I guess they like soccer or something. I don't know. Like the manager
Mm-hmm.
would get tickets for the games,
Wow.
so he would just give them to him, and then we would go. And they were good seats.
Right.
They were like really close, like to the as like close as you could get,
Right.
probably. And it was really, really good.
Yeah.
It's really different from like watching on TV.
It's completely different because you can see you see the athleticism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like the field as well, like the way they kick, it doesn't look the same as at all as watching it there.
Right.
And then I would see the like the band and shit, the cheerleaders and some shit on like a
Supporters.
little stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would see that. But it's been a while since I've been to any live sporting event. I know a lot of people say that hockey is really good to watch live.
Right.
I haven't gone to a hockey.
I haven't seen a hockey game, man. It's one of my friends back in college. They would go all the time, and I was just like, dude, nah, I'm all right. I should have went. But
I heard it's really fun to go
Yeah.
to hockey. Maybe once all this is better,
yeah.
probably go one of the games, just check it out.
I play the game all the time, NHL. That was fun. I played that.
What?
But NHL.
You played hockey or you played the video game?
I played the video game.
Oh,
Yeah.
I haven't played the video game.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
Especially because you get to fight physically.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you do get to fight. That's really cool. Like, players
Some of
want
my
to settle some
Some of my
beef.
friends created players that were just like built just to fight.
Oh,
So
really?
they'll just like tackle somebody and then it goes into fight mode.
Yeah,
So then they just fight the entire game.
that's funny. It's
Yeah.
like a mini UFC.
Yeah,
game.
it's like a mini UFC stage, yeah. But
Today was the women's final for U.S. Open.
yeah. Naomi Osaka played Victoria Azarenka in the final. Azarenka won the first set fairly easily. Second set, Osaka came back. Third set, Osaka stayed on pushing. It was an agile. I liked watching it. The first set was not that enjoyable to watch because it's just Osaka made like way too many errors, but Azarenka was also hitting really good shots, and she was like pretty much putting the pressure on her like point by point by point, every single point in every single game in the first set. But the second set, Osaka kind of got a hold of her serve a little bit more, and put together better patterns in the rallies. So then she wasn't necessarily getting on the defense immediately.
Okay.
And that's what really turned the match around because both of them were kind of going neck to neck with a lot of the shots that they were hitting. But at some point, Osaka started changing her patterns and attacking in a different way that she was. She wasn't doing in the first set, and that's what really made the difference. But what I mean, I enjoyed watching that. Yesterday, I watched the semifinal, one of the semifinals, which was Dominic Thiem, who's from Austria, against Daniil Medvedev, who's from Russia. And that's like, when we get a chance after this, we'll watch it. But it's a really, you just see, like, the athleticism is, like, insane.
Yeah. And are these up and coming players or young players, or have they been playing for a while?
they're sort of new. They're kind of like in their mid-20s.
Oh, okay.
So not super young, but very experienced and very athletic, very like insanely strong.
Okay.
Tomorrow is the final for the men's, and Dominic Thiem will be playing Alexander Zverev, and Alexander Zverev, who also known as Sasha, who is from Germany.
Okay.
So it's going to be a good battle. When you get it, like, hopefully when you get a chance to watch some of it or highlights, but it's going to be a lot of really good ball striking.
Who do you think will win?
I'm favoring Dominic Thiem, mainly because I mean, both of them are pure athletes, but one of them is more mentally. Okay, so when you're playing tennis, you can go through phases where you're focused, and then you can go to like a mental slump where a couple of missed shots, and then maybe you're not necessarily feeling either confident or concentrating well. That's something that Alexander Zverev, as you watch him play, kind of drifts and shifts between super focused and missing a couple shots and getting a little bit mental, double faulting here and there. But you don't necessarily see much of that coming from Dominic Thiem. It's just like punch by punch by punch, strike, 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 strike. And it's fun to watch because they play at obviously it's at a higher level.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really enjoyable to watch the way they move on the court, the way they use the space on the court. I mean, they hit shots sometimes. I'm just like, this ball is so far off the court, there's no way the other person is getting there. And the other person gets there and hits a better shot. And then they just keep, like, they show you and make you see how much more space there is on the court. Yeah. So
That's good.
So I'm going to watch that tomorrow at some point.
All right, cool. And then after that, what's next?
I saw the schedule, but I haven't looked into too much detail. But they'll probably be transitioning to clay.
Okay.
And then there's some tournaments that were canceled for the year. Now they've kind of pretty much revised their protocols and put things in place for the tournament to actually happen, especially because there won't be any fans. It's going to be a little bit more controlled.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's good. Then a lot of like sports are able to still be able to put out like the games and tournaments.
Right.
And having like a better way of controlling things, and especially like with fans and not having them. That way a lot of people don't get like infected with the virus.
Right.
One of the first sports was the UFC that actually like started with
really?
yeah. So I follow UFC a lot.
Right.
I don't know if you
I knew that. For
knew
sure.
what.
Well, I knew you follow UFC.
Oh no, but do you follow it a little or no?
Not necessarily. I know that you do. I don't follow it personally.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so a while back, I guess it was still during the quarantine, and the UFC, there was like this big fight that was supposed to happen. And the UFC, they were trying to make sure that it happened. I think it was around April. And so they were like really close to securing the event in California, I think. And they actually, I think it was in California, but they went to like a Indian reservation, right? And they spoke with everyone, see if they would allow them to hold an event. And they got the permission, so they went there. And because I guess they have a contract with ESPN, and then ESPN is part of Disney, they were basically shut down by Disney because I guess it was sending like a message that why is everyone like locked up and locked down, and then someone is trying to organize like an event.
Right. Oh,
And then-
okay.
But I don't think they were gonna have fans. I think they were just gonna have the fighters.
Right.
So that went and got canceled. But then, one thing that was like happening at that time as well was the UFC was trying to get like an island.
Oh, so that all the players can fly there and stay there, train there.
And hold the events there. But then I guess Florida was one of the first states that started opening things up.
Right.
And so they held some events there. So they had like a very strict protocol, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So you would fly in,
Mm-hmm.
get tested, then you would be in a hotel and quarantined for a few days. Then you go get tested, then be quarantined again,
Mm-hmm.
and then get tested again. So there was multiple tests
Wow.
throughout the days. They have to like cut weight, so they would weigh in, then after weigh-ins, get tested,
Mm-hmm.
make sure that everyone's fine.
Right.
I think out of all those tests, everyone involved, I think so far there's only been like maybe 5 or 6
Reported cases.
people that were not caught, but that tested positive.
Okay.
And then as soon as they tested positive, they would leave. They wouldn't like continue with their scheduled fight. They
Right.
would just get canceled and then go on with the ones that are actually fine.
Right.
And they were like the first sport that started back up.
Wow.
And I guess a lot of people probably saw and then sort of copied the
Right.
way that they were doing things and how sports are back.
Right.
And they've been back for months, but
Yeah.
we're just now talking about them because NBA is coming with the finals. U.S. Open just concluding with women's, and then tomorrow with
Right. And people are actually having time to sit down and watch.
yeah. And then other sports. I mean, I haven't like really paid attention to them, or I normally don't pay attention to them. Like NFL,
Yeah.
they already had their Super Bowl, so they're just doing regular games, I think.
Right.
Baseball, I don't even know what they're doing, bro.
Baseball has started back up.
I know they started back
But
up,
I
and
don't
then
know what
they
they're-
messed up a few times. So they had like a game, and then almost the whole one team
What?
tested positive.
What?
And I think they had fans too. Like they just messed it up.
Yeah.
NHL, I think they're doing fine.
Right.
They figured out a system that works. I don't know I think they're in their playoffs,
I'm not sure about
but
that.
I don't even know. I know there's is there golf?
PGA.
I don't think there is golf.
No, I don't know.
Maybe yeah, but those are I don't know if you can call WWE sport.
You know they fake it.
Well, they're fake, but the people that are involved are really athletic.
Right.
So I don't know if you would call it like a sport.
I mean,
It's like entertainment.
it is more an entertainment because there's no scoring system, right?
No, and then all the fights are scripted.
Yeah. So it's not. It's yeah.
It's
I
just,
think that for it
enter-
to be a sport, it has to be. If you don't necessarily want to, there shouldn't be a predetermined outcome.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Yeah, but they've been doing it like for a while. I think they were the first actual thing to still stay on the air. They just did it from one location, and they do that with like their pay-per-views and all that stuff. I think I don't know how it is now, because I don't follow it as much as I used to before.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's really everything with the sports.
Yeah.
I'll probably watch the finals, NBA,
Mhm.
maybe. I don't know.
I mean, I'll probably watch it. Honestly, I'll find time to watch it because it's just one of those events that happen that I try and find time to watch. That, the World Cup, the World Series.
You watch the World Series?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't.
I mean, until then, it's just like a long season.
Yeah.
It is a long season. So
One thing with tennis, do you think you saw the Djokovic thing?
yeah, I did.
I didn't see it. I just saw like a little thing on Twitter.
Novak Djokovic, who was potentially in a position to win another Grand Slam, increase his stats, accidentally hit a ball off his racket, which hit one of the linesmen on the court in the throat. And the video is just funny because the way she falls.
I haven't seen the video.
I'm not saying that like I'm not sympathizing with her in their pain, but the way she falls is just ridiculous. So, anyways, Novak Djokovic gets disqualified because of the accident. So then he's gone, and so that also pretty much opens up the possibility that there's going to be a new Grand Slam champion who isn't necessarily one of the big three in tennis, which is the big thing that's kind of happening right now with the U.S. Open. But
so Djokovic, you think was? Oh, what? They cut it.
Yeah,
I thought they were gonna show it.
they'll show it again probably.
So you think he was gonna be win the whole thing?
He probably would have, man, honestly, because
How many Grand Slams does he have?
I don't remember right now off the top.
How old is he? Like
He's got to be in his early 30s.
early 30s.
Yeah.
You think he's gonna catch Federer?
I don't know, man. Maybe he already has. I haven't looked at the stats in a while. Let's see. Why don't you pull it up on yours?
So he is 33.
Okay.
And let's see.
Scroll down. Okay, oh, it's right there. So he has won 17.
Whoa, what the heck?
Go up. All the way up. Okay, he's won 17 Grand Slam singles titles. The third most in history for a male player. So I think... So let's look up the Grand Slam. And who holds the most Grand Slam? I should know this, honestly.
Well, the one who holds the most?
Yeah.
It's Federer. But I don't know how much he has.
Scroll down.
Oh, here we go. Where is it? Oh, okay.
Men's singles.
What?
Scroll up. Why don't you just 8 men and 10 women have won career Grand Slams in singles. Since the beginning of the Open era, 5 men. Blah blah blah.
Federer has 20.
Only? I thought he had 22.
Only.
It's funny I said only, like a Grand Slam is pretty attainable.
He's 39, thing.
Yeah.
He's really old.
He's old. What about Nadal? Rafael. 19. Rafael was closing in. He won one last year at the U.S. Open. And he also won the French Open.
He always wins the French.
He's just like a French machine at this point.
Clay court master.
Yeah.
When they had the blue clay, a lot of people didn't like it. And
that blue clay was, yeah.
Federer liked it.
Yeah.
He was good at it.
Yeah.
And he won that tournament.
Yeah. No,
They never did it again.
They were like, nah, we can't let him dominate. We cannot let him dominate another surface.
Yeah. And then what about women?
Serena passed. What's her name? I can't remember her name. Steffi Graf. Well, yeah.
She has 23.
The most by any player in the Open era. Okay, yeah.
Second most all time, Margaret Court, who has 24.
Okay.
So
in the Open era, it's Serena. All time, Margaret Court.
But she's one off. And she can easily get another one, right?
I'm not sure if easily would be the.
Well, not
term.
easily, yeah, but
But like Naomi
if
Osaka
she-
is in her way. If I think if Serena played a tournament where Simona Halep, Naomi Osaka, and maybe Sophia Kenin were not playing, she probably would.
Okay.
Yeah,
But she still lost.
she lost.
to
Yeah, she lost
Azarenka.
to Azarenka, which from what I saw Azarenka do to Naomi Osaka in the first set, I can kind of picture what she did to Serena, because Serena did Serena did to Azarenka what Azarenka did to Naomi Osaka. So Serena beat
Yeah, she beat her really quick
really
first,
quickly in the first set,
and then she
and
came back.
and then she came back. And Azarenka. So what Azarenka did to Serena, Naomi Osaka did to Azarenka.
Sure. Cool.
Yeah.
So do you think he's gonna catch up?
Yeah.
Djokovic?
Yeah. Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as long as he's healthy, yes.
He's really good.
He's so good. Like
Every time I want Federer to win and
Yeah.
he's in the finals
Yeah.
and Djokovic is with him, I'm like,
Yeah.
he's losing.
Yeah.
As much as I want Federer to win, I know Djokovic is far better.
Djokovic he's a beast, man. But no, that I guess that sort of covers all the things that we wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
And so as we're getting closer to the elections, hopefully things go well. And I mean, both people are in a position to manipulate the election in some way or form that we don't have no clue how they're gonna do it anyways.
Oh yeah, I did see something about that as well.
Yeah.
I guess there was a thing, I forgot what they were voting for, and I forgot what state, but there was a lot of people that voted twice. And then Trump brought that up, I think this week as well.
Right.
He was saying people, I don't know if he was telling people, but the article or like headline that I saw was that Trump was telling people to vote twice. And I don't know if he's like, I don't know if his comments are like serious, or if he's sort of trying to bring to light that this stuff will happen if you do mail-in voting.
Right.
You know? If you guys do mail-in voting, I'm gonna tell people to do stuff that are like voting twice,
right? So
I can rig it into my favor, and sort of kind of like, if I don't know if this is his thought process, but if I was in his position, it's sort of like playing a mind games with the opposition. You know, I don't want mail-in voting, so I'm gonna create a way for mail-in voting to be in my favor,
right?
So then they will not do mail-in voting,
right?
Which ultimately helps me.
Oh, dude!
If he has that 200 IQ, then that'll be fucking funny.
Your idea just got stolen, man.
Huh?
I said your idea just got stolen. For sure.
Yeah, someone probably tapped in, listened to a conversation.
Just like, dang, dude, we should have done that.
Yeah.
At least give us credit, though.
Yeah. Copyright American Dream Podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll see, what things are going to happen with the election. Things are going to slowly build up until November.
Right.
We'll see if they do the debates, and I'll try and listen to them.
Right, same. So that we can
talk about it, comment about certain things that we liked, didn't like, and then also view it from angles, if perhaps we didn't see the whole entire thing and just want to get like a sort of a summary of it,
right?
Get from different viewpoints, you know, because not everyone is going to look at the debate the same way,
right?
But hopefully there is debates, that way you can see how everyone is interacting. and what strategies I guess they put forth of sort of gaining the votes
The
from
votes, right.
the U.S. citizens. But hopefully you enjoyed listening to this episode.
Right.
Current events and a little bit of sports. We'll see you in the next one.
All right.
Bye.